Despite the prevalence of mental illness, many people still feel ashamed or embarrassed to talk about their struggles. Now, this stigma can prevent individuals from seeking the help they need, leading to further isolation and suffering. Our hope with this podcast is to create a safe space where people can share their experiences without fear of judgment and find comfort in knowing that they are not alone. Welcome to Walks with Sam, the podcast by the same name from the published book with me, the author and your host, Gordy Campbell. Walks with Sam discusses the burning question, do you really understand mental illness? We'll be discussing the journey into and through mental health illnesses and talking openly about real-life lived experience to raise awareness for all who want to better understand when we are victims and when we're being warriors. We know how important mental health awareness is, so you can show your support for free by sharing this podcast and the book with your own support groups, leaving a review on the book on Amazon or Kindle, subscribing to the podcast, or if you'd like to support the unpaid work that we do and you do find it valuable, please do purchase your own copy or gift a copy to others in your life who you think would also benefit. It's an emotional journey ahead, so we will keep it lighthearted, and please do bear in mind that there will be references that may be triggering to some, so please do stop and come back in as you feel necessary. Enjoy the journey, and let's take a walk with Sam. Welcome to Walks with Sam, our podcast on the published book about mental illness. We are so glad you have joined us today to explore this important and often misunderstood topic. Mental illness affects millions of people around the world, and yet there is still so much stigma and shame associated with it. Our goal with the book and podcast is to break down those barriers and open up a conversation about mental health that is honest, compassionate, and empowering. In the podcast going forwards, we will be discussing through the book what mental illness is, the different types of mental health disorders, and the impacts it can have on a person's life. We will also be sharing personal stories from individuals who've struggled with mental illness and discussing the importance of seeking help and support. Mental illness is a broad term, and it encompasses a range of conditions that affects a person's thoughts, emotions, and behaviours. It can manifest in a number of ways, from anxiety and depression to bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Now, while these disorders may vary in their symptoms and severity, they all share one commonality. They can have a profound impact on a person's quality of life. Despite the prevalence of mental illness, many people still feel ashamed or embarrassed to talk about their struggles. Now, this stigma can prevent individuals from seeking the help they need, leading to further isolation and suffering. Our hope with this podcast is to create a safe space where people can share their experiences without fear of judgment and find comfort in knowing that they are not alone. One of the most important messages that we want to convey during the Walks with Sam podcast is that mental illness is not a sign of weakness or failure. It is a medical condition, and it deserves the same level of care and attention as any other physical illness. Just as we would seek treatment for a broken arm or a sore throat, we should also seek help for our mental health struggles. So if you or someone you know is struggling with mental illness, please know that there is help available, whether it's therapy, medication, or simply talking to a trusted friend or family member. There are many ways to manage and overcome mental health challenges. You are not alone, and it is okay to ask for help. So thank you once again for joining us on this important journey. We hope that this podcast will serve as a source of support, education, and inspiration for all of those who are struggling with mental illness. Together, we can break the silence and change the conversation around mental health. Let's start talking. So if there's already a book, why do the podcast? Well, mental illness awareness is crucial in today's society because more and more individuals are facing mental health challenges. It is estimated that 1 in 4 in the United Kingdom experience a mental illness in any given year. That highlights the prevalence and the impact of those conditions on our society, with an astonishing 22.8% of disability burdens being mental health illness. However, despite the widespread nature of mental illness, there continues to be stigma and misinformation surrounding these issues. Producing this podcast helps us all by raising awareness about mental illness and highlighting the importance for several reasons. Firstly, it helps to reduce the stigma associated with mental health conditions. Stigma is what can prevent individuals from seeking help and support, leading to feelings of isolation and shame. So by increasing awareness and understanding of mental illness, we create a more supportive and accepting environment for those who are struggling with those conditions. As well as this, mental illness awareness can also help to increase access to resources and support services for everyone in need. Many people with mental health issues do not receive the help that they require due to lack of awareness about the available services or the belief that they should simply, quote, tough it out, unquote, on their own, or wait to, quote, snap out of it, unquote. By increasing awareness with Walks with Sam about mental health conditions, we can try to ensure that individuals are aware of the resource and the support options available to them, and also educating others in the process. Sharing experiences of mental illness is a pivotal aspect of raising awareness and promoting personal development on the matter. When individuals share their experiences, they help to break down barriers and challenge misconceptions about the mental health. So hearing personal stories can humanize mental health issues to people who have never experienced them and help others to realize that they are not alone with their struggles. Now we know that sharing experiences of mental health and mental illness can be incredibly empowering for people. It allows them to reflect on their own experiences, gain insight into struggles, and connect with others who may be going through similar challenges. So by sharing their stories, individuals can find a sense of community and support, which is essential for personal growth and development. There are a lot of personal stories in Walks with Sam. We included these to cover a wider scope of diagnoses. Also, sharing experiences of mental illness can also help to foster empathy and understanding amongst individuals. So when we hear about the experiences of others, we can develop a greater sense of compassion and empathy for those who are actually struggling with mental health issues. This can help to reduce judgment and stigma, creating a more inclusive and supportive environment for everyone. So to conclude, and we want to welcome you into Walks with Sam, mental illness awareness is crucial in today's society to reduce the stigma, increase access to resources, and promote understanding of mental health issues. You will hear many shared experiences of mental illness. This is a key aspect of raising awareness and promoting personal development. By sharing their stories, we can empower them, foster empathy, and create a supportive society for those struggling with mental health challenges. It is essential that we continue to promote awareness and understanding of mental illness to create a more compassionate and inclusive society for all individuals. So please do subscribe to the podcast, share the book on Amazon and Kindle, or if you like, gift the book in paperback to those who may benefit from the education. We know they can. So thank you for all taking the time to listen. We will finish this episode with the author's note, myself, and we will look forward to a walk with Sam together. Author's note. During the 2020 global pandemic, I found myself sitting amongst a pile of books and paperwork in my office, at the back of my house and away from the noise and ongoing proverbial nonsense of the world outside. Having just found Sam's personal diaries from 10 years before, it became apparent to me that what I had just read could help millions of people around the world to live and feel better. The information Sam had given to me all those years ago, I believe, is a necessity for anyone who's related to mental health in many ways or situations. As I personally researched Sam's journey and spoke deeply with many others, both strangers as well as my friendship circles, I knew with more certainty than ever that everybody needs to hear about mental illness from the voices of the sufferers and not just scientists or medics. I ask that you think about yourselves now. Take some time to step out of society as you look after yourselves during your own mental struggles, or just as importantly, the ones that you know. You haven't even met them yet. I see such a deep understanding from everyone who has personally dealt with mental illness. They know how it feels, they know what it means to hurt without any physical scars. All the caregivers hurt just as much as the people who are dealing with inner pain. So I put my journal to the side and vowed to use it as a voice to help the world. And that is what you are about to hear. I have cried a lot through almost every page that I have rewritten and edited with the book. And in uprooting my deepened pain from those journals and understanding the collated stories from others in the world, I almost jeopardized my mental health once again. That I will never regret for anyone who we can support and help in the future. I hope from Walks with Sam that any of you who don't already will understand more of mental illness, which you never before. That if you need it, you feel the support from us as we fight our way through this world together, with our inner voices leading the way. I thank you all for taking the time to take this walk with us, and when our walk comes to an end, please do pass along this book for Sam to walk with others. So for now, let's walk. Gordon Campbell, also known as Sam.